Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our very special CampusCare Social, where the platform where educators come on board to discuss their challenges and achievements in their journey to uplift society and the scholars for the better future. So, before I begin, let me quickly introduce Entab to you. We are a 20-year-old IT company engaged in providing matured and futuristic school ERP, CRM, and mobile apps to various schools spread across India and help them transform from good schools to the best schools. So, in today's Campus Care Social, we will be unraveling an outstanding journey of an educator and we'll talk about her strong initiatives to uplift society and the young scholars to lead a successful life. So, let's get our viewers familiar with our guest for the day. Ma'am is a very progressive educationist who believes that challenges are stepping stones to success. Her objective is to chisel the unique genius and ignite the spark in every student and teacher to create the leaders and not the followers. So, during her 29 years in the field of education, ma'am has transferred different roles and profiles as educator, administrator, counselor, curriculum designer, and the school auditor. Owing to her conspicuous journey, ma'am received several awards for her contribution, like the Education Icon Award 2019, Outstanding Leadership Principal of the Year. Under her efficient leadership, Billabong High School received an Indian School Merit Award in 2017 and 2018 for exemplary contribution to the education field. So please welcome Dr. Priti Shrimal, ma'am,
Thank you.
principal of Billabong High International School. Welcome to Campus Care Social, ma'am.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I'm really humbled.
So, ma'am, as you and me, we were talking in the morning and right now as well before starting the webinar, and we were talking about all your journey. So, ma'am, I would really want you to discuss your journey with with our viewers, uh, to a noteworthy principal at Billabong High International School.
I'm basically an educationist and a teacher by choice. So I've been in this field for 30 years. I began my journey from a small place called Udaipur, where I was a teacher, and then slowly, of course, I moved up the rung, and then I was the administrator, and then I became the headmistress of primary school. And then from there on, I moved to Bangalore. And then from Bangalore, I was heading an ICSC school. So after my stint at Bangalore, I again moved to Mumbai now. And I took up a different role there. All these years, for the past almost, I think, 15 years, I was on the ground, basically, being with students, being with staff, with teachers, planning, rolling out the curriculum, and doing something which was complete interaction with students. But when I moved to Mumbai, I joined this company called CampusKidz, and there I was actually a curriculum designer, and I was made to sit in front of a computer, which of course wasn't there in my DNA. I realized then that no, that's not what I'm cut out for. But I did learn a lot. So this entire journey of 29, 30 years, if I can say, it's been almost 30 years now. It will be 30 years this June. I have learned a lot. And then from Mumbai, I moved to Vadodara, and I had the good fortune of heading a school here. So I've been the principal for the past 11 years of Billabong High International School, Vadodara. And it's been an amazing journey, learning all the way, meeting wonderful people, interacting with students, and having a huge following of ex-students as well. Because in my almost 30 years, there are hundreds of students who have graduated, or whom I have taught or touched their lives, or at least met them somewhere down my career. So definitely, I would say an enriching journey, but a journey where we are still learning, we are still being exposed to different challenges, and we all have to gear ourselves up all the time. As thought leaders, as educationists, we cannot simply relax, be complacent, and say, oh, that's it. No, there is always a new window which we have to open. There is always a door which shuts, and then we have to plan out new strategies, pave our own new ways in order to overcome all the hurdles and challenges. And this year has been a phenomenal year for the entire education scenario, for everyone. The entire educational landscape was completely transformed, and so did we. So we had to move from our physical schools to the virtual platform. And I would like to over here appreciate the efforts of the entire teaching community, including the teachers of Billabong and all these schools, how they have managed to cope up, relearn new skills to be able to impart excellence and to be able to meet up to the new demands and to live the new normal. So, yes, for me, it's been a learning journey throughout and throughout, but with focus on excellence, uniqueness, and having a futuristic view. So we have to look ahead because we are dealing with children who belong to the future. So we have to, of course, cater to their needs. We have to fulfill their aspirations, and we have to plan, strategize, and completely think out of the box in order to meet the challenges of a very very aspirational future. So
Wonderful, ma'am. And ma'am, as your contributions towards the NGOs are commendable. So, ma'am, would you like to talk about your engagement with them? What are the necessary measures you take to support the underprivileged?
I would just like to share a little personal insight. I was brought up in Calcutta, and I had the good fortune of actually working in Mother Teresa's Shishu Bhavan as part of our internship. So I was really influenced by her, and of course she was the woman who inspired all of us. So I'll first begin with a quote where Mother Teresa says that not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. And this was the vision and philosophy with which I thought that yes, we need to expose our students not only, of course, to an academic career, not only to an academic exposure. Along with that, they also need to learn about serving the community. They need to engage themselves in community service because it provides them an opportunity to become active members of the community. And this, I believe, has a lasting impact because youth can bring about change. They are the change agents. And by offering them and by giving them a platform wherein they can render services to the society, to the community at large, we are actually developing a number of skills in them, life skills in them. We are developing a sense of gratitude. We are sensitizing the youth to play their role in changing society, in creating community conscious students. And we at Billabong, I feel that students need to interact socially. They need to understand and empathize problems of other people, and then only will they be able to develop a lifelong mindset for bettering the society. So, in view of this, we have tried to collaborate with a number of NGOs, and I would like to begin with this quote that there is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about. So in our journey, we have actually discovered and we've tried to inspire and motivate the youth and the students to extend a helping hand. A part of the community outreach programs that we have collaborated with are NGOs like one is Mahavir International. Under the aegis of Mahavir International, we have undertaken projects like the Gyan Jyoti project, where the students of our school render literacy skills, numeracy skills, computer skills to and conversational skills to 30 underprivileged students. So these students come from a marginalized section. They come from the slum areas where their parents are actually migrant workers or they are labored, and they cannot spend that much time and of course teaching with their students basic skills which are required. And for these students we have also organized a lot of recreational activities, like they've been taken for joy rides in the local gardens. We have taken them for train rides, and we celebrate all our festivities with them. So no festival is celebrated without the Gyan Jyoti kids being a part of it. And I would also like to share here that we've also hosted sports day for almost 100 students belonging to the government schools. So there, of course, the children they are in charge of everything, driving the show, of course, along with Mahavir International. The second act, the project which we've taken under Mahavir International is Beti Padhao, Desh Ki Maan Badhao. All of us know that it's imperative and very important when we teach the girl child. So a group of students went to the nearby villages, creating awareness about the importance of educating the girl child. They also went from door to door, actually talking to them, convincing them, and they also created a survey. The results of this survey, the report of this survey, was then collated and shared with Mahavir International. Then for them to then go back and of course to rework on strategies whereby every girl in that village attends school. So that was the second initiative. We also organized plays, Nukkar Nataks, Bhavai, which we call in Gujarat, to spread awareness about the harmful effects of tobacco, about how harmful it is, also how plastic also can be a huge menace, because these are people who have, they spend their money on smoking, and they spend their money on stuff which on chewing tobacco. So this awareness was very important, and in fact, this was told to us and brought to our notice by the Gyan Jyoti children who came to us, that that's what their fathers do, and sometimes their mothers also indulge in it. So this, through Bhavais and Nukkar Nataks, or street plays as we call them, we created awareness, and we also we went from door to door, the students along with the group of teachers, went from door to door and made them sign pledges that, okay, henceforth we are not going to smoke, or we are going to make sure that we take care of the plastic in the village. So the second collaboration is with the Anganwadis and the Balwadis, where the students have volunteered teaching young kids using different teaching aids, like puppets and storytelling, because a true teacher is a teacher who teaches from the heart. So there's a role reversal, and when these students are sent, and we also send young students, they enjoy it. The experience is so enriching, and they feel so validated. Oh, wow, we did something so worthwhile today. We brought smiles to the faces of those very young kids. The third collaboration is with the Arpan School. This is a school for the mentally and differently abled children, where students have taught computer skills, art and craft activities, things like diya painting, and they have actually encouraged the children to make these products, and they have also initiated a kind of a platform for these students to sell and to promote their products. So they were empowered to create a website wherein they could sell whatever products they were making, and at the same time, the students also carried the products to school and sold them during PTMs and other parent-teacher meetings, or during some other festivals or exhibitions that we have. We've also collaborated with the BPA, the Blind People's Association Ahmedabad. Now, this was a fantastic project, a project which I'm really very emotional about, because here we provided vocational training for more than 120 students who were intellectually challenged with multiple disabilities. So the students went there, they played with them, they interacted with them, and there was an interactive cross-learning happening. They taught them certain skills, they learned certain skills. There was so much to learn from these children. And they came back with a sense of, they were overwhelmed when students interacted with them, and when they came back, after meeting these students. So then we created a two-way channel. All the products created by the students of BPA were then co-branded and sold by our students during the Navratri celebrations in the school. And at one time, they were also invited to play Garba with my students.
Wow.
The fifth NGO that we collaborated is the Swarg community. This is a home for the aged, and rightly called the Swarg community. And this is called the Circle of Care project. As they say, wrinkles merely indicate where the smiles have been. So the students went to this Swarg community, they interacted with them, and this was done on a regular basis. It was not just a one-time activity. They played games with them, they sang songs with them, they heard stories from them, and they visited the different wards, because depending upon the kind of people who were there, as we call them, the elder buddies. They interacted, they divided themselves into groups, and we call them buddies, elder buddies. So they really had a kind of a very enriching time with them. And when the children came back, they were so emotional and they were so deeply touched. And I think what they learned from there was, yes, we need to count our blessings. We need to have gratitude, and most important, we need to shower all elders with lots of love and care, because that's what they are actually lacking. That's what they want, which they realized when they visited the Swarga community. And there were times when we also sent them for pre-Valentine celebrations, where they made cards, they sang songs, and they played antakshari with old songs. So definitely an engagement which I feel is going to bring about a sense or sensitize the students and make them feel that yes, this is a community which should not be forgotten. But we need to do our bit to make them happy, to make them feel that yes, they are cared for. We have also tied up with the Shri Ananta Charitable Trust for a social initiative which is called Khushiyon Nu Kabat. So over here, we keep a kind of, I would say, a gift drum in the foyer of the school, where students gift pre-owned items like toys and clothes and household articles, which are then sold by the trust at very nominal prices. And sometimes my students even volunteer to go to these sales, which are mostly open for public or for masses who really can't afford. I mean, I can't imagine a girl buying a Barbie for 5 rupees, or buying a Faber-Castell crayon set for 10 rupees. So that's what this trust does, and we feel really very obliged and really honored to be a part of this initiative by Ananta Trust. Then we have tied up with Habitat for Humanity. This is a community service initiative where this year, of course, the students would be raising funds for the COVID-19 affected victim through crowdfunding. But in the years in the years last year and the year before that, they would come to school and various activities were conducted, and then the children would go on a kind of a donation drive or a collection drive, creating awareness for the homeless, for the ones who do not have places to live, and doing their own bit to make sure that everybody has a roof above them. So just a little bit on the various NGOs that my school is associated with, and we'll definitely pick them up again when we move back to the physical school in the next coming year, in the 21-22. So a little bit on what my school has been doing, and there's so much more to do, miles to go before I can actually put a stop to the initiatives and the drives for change, and the way in which the children get a lot of scope and a lot of exposure to work with different sects of society and through different NGOs and through different beneficiaries who are working for the good of for general good of the people and the public. So I think there is so much, and all this, of course, goes with the kind of inspired team that I have, and the way the children drive the entire project and the initiative. So here, of course, it is mostly driven by the students, and teachers are there as mentors and facilitating this entire project.
Wonderful initiatives taken by you, ma'am. I was actually I was when I was listening to it, I went like, wow, you've done a lot during this time, and even while we were in quarantine and the entire world was under lockdown. Wonderful initiative, ma'am. And ma'am, as you have now we were talking about NGOs, but I came across that you have initiatives like Rotary Club, Intract Club that enabled by you at Billabong High International School. So, ma'am, would you like to
Yes.
talk about the same? So, any challenges that you witnessed and how did you overcome them?
So we have an Interact Club, and over the past, we've got this for the past 5 to 6 years, and last 2 years, 2 consecutive years, we were awarded the Rotary International Presidential Citation by Rotary International in recognition of the work being done by my club, basically being change makers, making a difference in the lives of the people. And we've also been adjudged as the best interact club from among 94 clubs. So, this motivates us and this sort of inspires us to do even better in the days to come. And during the pandemic, it was a challenge for us. So we tried to do a lot of work through the virtual platform. So we got our students to collect funds, and we distributed blankets to the homeless. And we've been doing this in the past as well, where the students were inspired by a Hindi, a Hindi chapter in their curriculum, which is called Do Kalakar, which says that it's not about painting pictures, or it's not about just a kalakar is not someone who paints beautiful pictures, but it's someone who paints people's lives with color and vibrancy. So this was something which was taken up by the students under the able guidance, of course, of their mentors. And in this pandemic, I'm really very happy to share with you that we wrote and we sent digital cards to the soldiers,
Wow.
brave hearts who've been there guarding us, who've been always there and expressing our gratitude. So we call this Patra to Sipahi. So we wrote around 100 plus digital cards to them, thanking them for the immense work that they're doing, thanking them for being there, always protecting us. And along with this, during the physical school scenario, this Patra to Sipahi has been a project with us since the beginning. We have also sent Rakhis to these soldiers as a gratitude, as a gesture of our love and brotherhood to them. And we have also tried to undertake as many awareness campaigns as we can virtually. And we've done this through by creating awareness of personal hygiene amongst the women. We call them, this was a project which we had taken up, which we call them Wo Panch Din, where awareness about menstrual hygiene, the kind of measures that they should take in their personal cleanliness, etc., was taken up, and this was done with the women of a nearby local slum area. And then, as they say, charity begins at home. We did this with our own ancillary staff, and this was also followed by distributing free sanitary napkins. And they've been doing it for a year now, and telling them that what are the advantages and the disadvantages of using different, if they're using napkins or if they're using cloth, and so on and so forth. So this is something which we have been doing, and which is going to be an ongoing project with us. And in the physical space, we've also done things like we've gathered and collected a lot of books and storybooks. And on the occasion of Children's Day, rather than celebrating Children's Day in the school, they've actually gone and spent it with children of Anganwadi or with children of the special school where we are collaborating and distributing things like stationery and books and singing songs with them. And there's another project which I would really like to share with you, where we collaborated with the Rotaract Club, and it was called Rang De Vadodara, where the walls of prominent city areas were painted with social messages like paying homage to freedom fighters, urging for peace, creating awareness about saving resources, against wasting of food, against fighting with the things like poverty and child abuse. So this was again a project which was undertaken in collaboration with the Rotaract Club. And we've been doing a lot of things like the RILA, which is the Rotary Youth Leadership Camps, where we organize leadership seminars for the students. We organize pre-enterprise seminars for them. We create cyber awareness sessions for them. So this was something which we had been able to do, not exactly to the same extent that we were doing in the physical space, but yes, these are projects which are a part of our Interact Club activities and will continue to be so once we reopen our schools. So we feel there's so much which can be done, and the children are there. They're just waiting to lap up anything which we give them, anything where they feel that yes, it's a sense of achievement for me to go out to help someone, to be able to do some good and to bring about a change.
Of course, ma'am, and such wonderful initiative by your club as well. And ma'am, I have heard that your students make Instagram page called with the with the handle of Young Minds Matter. So, would you enlighten us for the same?
So, what happened during the pandemic was that the children were the ones who were the worst hit because they were no longer going to school, they were no longer meeting friends, they had lost out on their own personal space, and they were completely thrown off balance. But they showed a lot of resilience. Yes, I can vouch for that. So during this time, a group of students from the psychology department created a new, took over a new initiative. They basically started a novel initiative and they created a platform, an Instagram page called Young Minds Matter. Because they felt that what mental health needs is more sunlight, more candor, more unashamed conversation. So basically, this Young Minds Matter Instagram page was created to discuss and deliberate upon one of the most important aspects of our lives, especially during the pandemic, our mental health. And to break the stigma about mental health, to talk openly about mental illnesses and mental health, they held the webinars, they held seminars, and because I also feel, and the students also feel that the social media should actually be used not to impress people, rather to impact uh, people. Yes. So where the, especially the student community, the youth can open up their minds, they can stand for themselves, and they can very freely express their views without being judged, without the fear of someone commenting on them. So this was a platform given to them, and through this page, the students engage the audience with interesting activities, stories, thought-provoking posts, trying to spread awareness about how important mental health is. So, if you go on their Instagram page, they've got mental health challenges. They've got platforms where students express their ideas and views on issues like depression, on issues like loneliness, and also something like the things like gender sensitivity. That's also something which they have spoken about over there. And these are very sensitive topics which need to be touched upon, where we need to give a voice to the students because it's all bottled up there. And generally, we put a lot of stigma. No, you can't talk about depression. No, you can't discuss this. This is taboo. You need to follow the trodden path. So this is a platform where you can come out, share your thoughts. You can share your inhibitions. You can share your fears, your anxieties, and nobody is going to judge you. In fact, we will be there to help you out in whichever way we can. So it is engaging the audience in a very thriving way where there is mutual synergy flowing. So this was something which was created by the students, and it is definitely a live page where the students are continuously adding on new pages, adding on new activities, and giving scope for everyone to share their thoughts because all of us need to talk about mental health, especially during the pandemic, where the youth has really been cooped up. They've really been deprived of so many things which was actually normal for them. So to adjust to the new normal, the students created this Instagram page, Young Minds Matter.
Of course, ma'am, young minds do matter, and I
Yes.
personally feel that you should talk to someone when you don't feel good or you don't know that you have mixed emotions.
So there was this locker room incident which happened,
Yeah,
where there was so much happening on the media, where there was so much information flowing and basically not age appropriate. So
right.
that was a time where we decided let's have an open discussion and let's share our views. Let's let the youth, let the students talk about it openly and bust all the myths which were there.
Right,
So
ma'am.
definitely this is required.
Absolutely,
We do
ma'am. It is
give a voice
required.
to them.
Yes, ma'am. I personally feel like it is required because I feel like there is a lot of mental pressure on students. They're stuck at
Yes.
home. Then there are assignments, online classes, and they have their exams as well. So much, and might be there are so many things which are going in their personal life as well in their families.
Absolutely. Yes.
So So I feel like young minds do matter, and we should actually break this taboo about mental
Yes.
health. That no, Indians to depression में जाते ही नहीं है.
बिल्कुल नहीं जाते हैं. We are the happiest. Yes, Indians are the happiest community. Yes,
Yes, ma'am, of
definitely.
course. So, ma'am, before closing the webinar, what are the challenges, according to you, are going to come when the schools are going to reopen?
Uh, so I would like to sort of divide the challenges as the physical challenge, in terms of their safety, in terms of their health. So we all have to be very mindful of the fact that all the schools, of course, follow the norms to ensure that the children are kept in a safe environment, because parents are going to be as worried as we educators would be once the students come to school. Then there's going to be, apart from their physical and their the safety hazard, of course, there will also be the challenge in terms of their emotional, their emotional well-being, because they've been at home for almost 10 months now. In these 10 months, they have completely been thrown out of a normal routine, getting up in the morning. Yes, they are attending classes on the virtual, and they are attending the virtual classes, the online classes, but it's not the same as the kind of a general rigor, the structure, the routine, and of course, the assess, the, you know, the complete tasks which come, the complete whatever responsibility which comes when they go to school, when they get up in the morning, they get ready, and they are going to school, they're going to face their teachers again. And most important from us, a big academic challenge would also be bridging the gap. So somewhere we will have to reorient the children, and we'll have to once again orient them towards uh, being more very comfortable, towards being safe, and to give them that kind of a feeling and that sense of well-being that yes, we are always there, we will support you, we understand you, we are not going to put pressures on you that, oh, there's an exam and you need to really score well first we need to take care of their mental health, their emotional well-being, and then we move on, of course, along with their safety as well, and then we move on to bridging the gap and churning out the academic curriculum. So definitely it's going to be a big challenge, but we are all ready for it. The students are waiting to get back to school, and this is something which all of us are really welcoming, and waiting with bated breath that yes, let's hope things work out well, and we bounce back again to a new normal, a normal which is, of course, going to be very different from the kind of school life that they have experienced all these years. So that is something which all of us are now have to gear up for. We'll have to brace ourselves for that and get ready to start afresh. So we are hoping that yes, after 10 months, 21 is going to be a breath of fresh air, where all of us are going to now spread smiles, bring cheer, and hopefully wipe away a lot of tears. So that's how I look at the new session. And of course, all of us have to brace the challenges. All of us have to overcome the challenges, which some challenges maybe we will maybe unexpected. Maybe we are not even prepared for it. So we have to make sure that our resources are ready, our teachers are well trained, the students are given enough orientation, the parents are given a guidance and counseling before they actually come to school. Because there are parents at home who are very worried. There are teachers in the school whose safety is as important as the safety of our the students. So a lot of issues, a lot of areas will have to be looked into in terms of welcoming the new academic session.
Ma'am, I personally feel that the students must be really, really eager to come back to schools, and even teachers, I guess.
Yes, they are all actually. The moment the news came in the papers that the schools are reopening for 10th and 12th, we were flooded with calls and students wanting to come back, wanting to be there in the school, and even during the virtual classrooms when I sit in the school, and I sit generally in an area where they can see the school assembly area and the open grounds. So the students want me to take them on a round of the school. Ma'am, please show us our classrooms. We are really missing the school. We are missing the classrooms, and we are missing the social connect which was there. That's very very important. That is so important. The emotional and the social quotient of the children, which was being completely, shifted to the back burner
Right.
because of them being at home. So that has to be taken care of. And together, parents and educators will have to make sure that yes, the children bounce back
Ma'am,
and are happy
ma'am,
and safe.
I just, I think we all are praying that things go normal as soon as possible and we can get
Yes.
back to our normal lives. Not new normal,
Um,
I would say, but the normal that we were in till
the normal,
2019.
yes, the normal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
All
we
of us
were,
need.
yeah, of course, ma'am. And thank you so much, ma'am. All the selfless deeds that you've been doing
Thank
and
you.
Billabong High International being doing such wonderful, and it was a wonderful, wonderful session, ma'am. And I was in such an awe uh, while listening to all the initiatives you've been doing, and the quote that you just quoted, that miles to go before I sleep.
Yes,
And
definitely. There's a lot which needs to be done.
yeah,
So all of us will now have to gear up, and all of us will have to adapt ourselves to the new normal, which is there waiting for us as we reopen the schools.
right,
So
ma'am.
thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and it's always a pleasure when I'm on NTAB, and definitely I would really appreciate the efforts which you all are doing in terms of bringing the ideas of the entire education community, sharing their views, and of course giving us a platform where we all of us can exchange and all of us can collaborate together. So that is a wonderful initiative by Entab. So thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
and it was a real pleasure to be here today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was pleasure having you, and because of all the educators like you, we've been able to, we've been able to do this, and we need lot and lot more educators like you to, develop. There is a to develop the holistic development of every student. And thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us today and giving your valuable time. And thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
all
much.
the viewers. And happy weekend to all of you. Thank you and bye bye.